Hello, hello, all. Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. Hey, will you do us a favor? If this podcast has meant something to you and encouraged you, will you consider becoming a monthly supporter? You could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the podcast so that we can continue to put out content and help better serve you. So if you would, down in the show notes, you can click the link, support, and become a monthly member. We love you. New episode coming your way. Today on the Almost Brothers podcast, we're going to be talking about that monster in the room, anger, A-N-G-E-R. We all struggle with it from time to time. What does the Bible say about it? What does God's word say about it? And how can we combat it and have a good way to face that thing straight on? Coming up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Almost Brothers podcast with your host, Michael.
And Jeremiah.
How you doing, Jeremiah?
Man, I'm blessed. How are you doing?
You know what just hit me? As we're trying to record this, I kept fumbling over my words and having to restart. We're talking about anger today.
Right.
And I'm starting to struggle with it a little bit.
It seems you sweating over there a little bit.
Oh my goodness. So I think it's the Lord saying, you know what, you're going to talk about it. So I'm going to have you struggle with it a little bit there at the beginning.
Right.
So how's your week been?
Man, it's been good. It's been really
weekend.
good. Yeah, it's been hot lately, but man, it's been good.
Brutal, man. What did we, me and Mom went to eat at Dexter Queen. And it was just going from the car to the inside. It was like brutal.
Man, we were over in the Bluff yesterday and ate at a Chinese buffet, and their AC must not have been working right. Like it was already hot outside, and we're like, man, it's going to be good going here to sit down and eat. And got in there. It was like 85 degrees in the restaurant.
Oh, no.
Like we're at a buffet, and it was so hot in there, I couldn't even eat.
That's what I was about to say. You get so hot, you don't want to eat.
Oh, yeah. It was just, I drank like 3 glasses of tea, but I didn't eat hardly anything off the buffet.
Keep the teas coming. Oh, no, that's bad. I think there was something kind of the same deal wrong at Dexter Queen, where we got in there. It was like, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad. It was a little muggy in there. It's like, oh my goodness.
Well, even our house is just, it's cool, but our air conditioner can't even keep up with it. It just runs nonstop. I woke up last night at like midnight and the AC's running. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. You hear it knocking like, look, bro, I need a break, man.
I need a break.
Oh man. Yeah. We got fans and air conditioners and everything we can to just I'm so ready for the fall and winter.
Me too.
Oh my goodness. But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about anger. This is your topic, man. You brought this up. It's something that I struggle with too. But it was awesome to hear you kind of bring it up. Yeah,
we had a little situation. I think it was last week where I was golfing, and it was right at the beginning of this heat wave. So it really wasn't as hot as it is now. But it was in the 90s, and I was out there, and it was just me. I was by myself, and when you're playing golf, sometimes things just start going wrong. Yeah. You're kind of sweaty, and you get dirt all over, because the wind's blowing and stuff, and it's just hot, and so I wasn't in a very good mood, and man, I caught myself just like really getting in my flesh. I was duffing shots and just hitting the ball over the place, and I ended up in bunkers, and so I'm in there trying to blast out of these bunkers, and sand's blowing back on me, and it was just
sticking to you.
Man,
sweat. Oh yeah,
I'm telling you, I was like beside myself, and so anyway, I get through that round and go home, and kind of don't think much of it, but the next day I went back for some more, and
glutton for punishment.
The same thing started going on, and I mean, I was just in my heart, I feel like I was getting really ugly, and the Holy Spirit kind of spoke to me and put me in check, said, if golf makes you like this, why are you doing it? Like maybe you shouldn't be playing golf. And I was like, but I like golf. I was like, well, then act like it,
Yeah.
And so, I mean, really, and honestly, God, this is what I did. I put on some praise and worship on my Pandora on my phone, and had that playing in my cart, and I had to repent. I asked the Lord, I said, "Hey, man, forgive me, because this is I'm out here being ugly. No one's out here to see it.
Yeah.
It's just me and God. He's seeing it, but there was nobody else around to witness it, and man, I'm telling you, like, really dealt with me in that, and like I was telling you the other day, man, the instant I prayed about it, and asked God to forgive me from my attitude, and just my, ungratefulness. I'm out there golfing. It's not like
right.
I was out there supposed to be having fun.
That's good. Yeah.
And so I just, the minute I asked forgiveness and, I apologized for my behavior, it's like there was a peace that came over me and with the, listening to praise and worship music, like my day just absolutely shifted like a 180. I mean, it went from awful to wonderful. And that's the only way I can say it is it just got better. My golf game didn't get any better.
Right.
Don't misunderstand me here. I was still hitting in the trees and I mean, there wasn't no water on the course because it's all dried up, but I would have been hitting it there too if there was any water. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to share that with you. And I think that it's a good topic for us because we can get angry and it's not always anybody else doing it to us. Sometimes it's like me, myself and my golf clubs, and the way we react in that situation. I wasn't very proud of myself for the way I was acting, and I think that we all kind of can do that sometimes.
And that's good, man. How you brought up, ungratefulness, because we do. How many times are we on vacation and we get so upset at something so stupid or so small, that when we were in Branson and like say, one of the stores were closed or we had to wear a mask or something, and we get so mad. It's like, wait, we're able to be here with people that we love, with friends and family, yet we're getting upset over something so stupid. It's like, God, I'm overlooking the blessings that you've given me to be able to even just be doing this, just like you with the golf. It's like, man, God, I'm able to do this and do something I enjoy doing and be blessed enough to be out here and be able to do this. But we get so angry. And I don't know about you, but especially with golf for me, the angrier I get, like the worse it gets worse. Oh, yeah. It's like I'm digging myself literally in a hole and it's like, you can't get out of it. Mm-hmm. I think that's how it is in life is we get upset at a situation and it gets worse and worse. The more we get upset, the worse it gets, the more we get upset. So it's just an endless cycle. What do you find yourself doing? I know you said praise and worship.
Well, that helped right there in the moment. But something that I also noticed, in the days following was how that since I did that and kind of got that behind me, it made my attitude different when I got home around my wife and my kids. So, because a lot of times I think I would come home with that and then continue that with them, what I mean? And they haven't done anything. I mean, this is the first I've seen them for the day, and I'm already worked up over a game of golf.
Right.
And so he really showed me that the quicker we can stop that cycle or stop that snowball that's rolling down the hill, I don't want to call it a cycle, but it's like something with momentum. Anger gets momentum.
Oh yeah.
The more we dwell on it, the more we think about it, that we can work ourselves into a frenzy if we're not careful. And so I just think that the quicker that we stop that, the better for us and everyone around us.
Man, that's good. And to be able to do that by yourself, in kind of isolation out on the golf course by yourself is something I think that God does many times is he works on us in those alone times, in those quiet moments, so that when you are around people, you can catch yourself and say, I remember when I was by myself and it was just me and you, Lord. Now I've worked on that.
That's right.
So now I'm around people. I don't have to make myself look bad or make you look bad around somebody. I've already worked on that by myself alone. So that's cool to have that quiet time with them. And that's how I used to be, man. I get so mad at work at the factory that shall not be named. And I get so mad, and just the whole trip home, I'd be thinking about how mad I am. Makes me more mad. And I'd walk in and Jamie could tell that it was just all over me. I was so angry at everybody. Everybody leave me alone. Nobody talked to me. And it did. It put a hindrance on my marriage. So much time that I've lost with my kids because I was just sitting there just angry, just, an hour after I get home, just nobody talked to me, let me chill out and calm down. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, if only I would have taken that before the Lord and said, you know what, I really need to step back and say, God, I'm blessed to have this job. I'm blessed to be able to provide for my family. I'm blessed to have a family to walk home to. There's nothing better than walking in the door and your kids running up, Dad's home. running up and giving you a big hug. And so many times I was angry and overlooked that and didn't really stop in the moment and take it in and really enjoy it. I was too mad at what was going on. And for me, especially this time of year, this heat,
I know,
bro,
it magnifies everything, doesn't it?
Bro, like I get so frustrated just getting out of the car. I know I'm a wussy. I know, whatever. But it just makes me so mad when it's hot and sticky, and even just walking from the car to Walmart, I get so upset and I could feel my neck turning red, and I'm just so mad. And it's the same, when fall comes and you get those, that day you wake up and it's cool and the leaves are falling. It's like I'm instantly in a good mood. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, are we like that in our lives? Are we like that with, we go to church and we walk in and we're in such a good mood, but what about Monday through, Saturday?
When the heat's turned up, yeah.
Exactly. Man, that's good. Yeah. What are we doing? Are we letting every little thing frustrate us? Are we letting every little thing knock us off of that, of knowing that we're blessed, of looking at the good things and the blessings in our life? So what's your final objective here? Have you broken any golf clubs?
No, I haven't broken any golf clubs because I spent entirely too much money on them. If I had a cheap one in my bag, which I've thought about putting one in there, just to go to, do I need to break one over my knee? No,
just chewed all up. Like, what is this for? Oh, that's
I mean, I'll just be real with you. I didn't break anything, but I just caught myself. I mean, it was my words, I was saying words that I don't use, regularly, and they were just coming out. And that thing is what just started going through my mind and thinking about it was like, where is the condition of my heart?
Yeah.
If all it takes is a bad golf swing or a missed shot or something like that for a word or something like that to come out of my mouth. If that's all it takes, then, what is the condition of my heart right now?
That's good.
And that's what really, I think that's how the Holy Spirit kind of slid through that crack and was like, hey, look here, maybe we need to shed some light on this area. What's going on in your heart that when you get angry, that's what, comes out of your mouth. You need to, you just should be at a point where that's, we're past this, and I feel like the Holy Spirit talks to us as our friend, he's our comforter, but he's also like our best friend.
Yeah.
And he'll tell us just like a good friend would, you're better than this, have people in your life that are encouraging and they always have a good, good encouraging word for you. That's the same way Holy Spirit deals with us a lot of times, like he literally just made me feel in my spirit, like you're better than this.
Right.
And so when, like I said, once we kind of got to the I need to repent of this and get past this, then it was like, like I said, all the anger and everything left, but I was just thankful that he showed me a lesson there. It was not a golf lesson, but it was a life lesson.
Oh yeah.
And, but yeah, there was definitely no broken clubs and I didn't wreck the golf cart into a tree or nothing.
Oh man, dude.
I kept it together.
Who was I? I can't remember who I was with. I think my ex-brother-in-law was with him when I'm horrible as it is, just across the board, just not good. But we were out there and we get real competitive and start talking crap to each other. And I was beating him and he started coming back. And then this one hole just kept giving me trouble. And I hit one shot and it was kind of into the trees. I think we were somewhere in Arkansas. And I went to hit it out of the trees and smoked it in a tree and almost came back and hit me. And I got so mad and I just took it was like a 4-iron or something. And I just took it and broke it across the tree and just like a child, I felt like a 5-year-old. And I go sit in the car. I'm like, I'm done for the day. Like I'm throwing a fit.
Right.
And it's like looking back on it, I'm like, how old are, it's like, I'm right. 20, I was 25 years old. It's like, dude, that's so embarrassing to think that I acted like that. Like you said, over a little right. white ball that you hit back and forth.
Right. And I think we do that a lot where you're like, this is going to feel so good. This is going to feel, but it doesn't, yeah. Really. Cause then, if you want to continue to play golf, you got to go buy another golf club.
Exactly.
And, just as I got in here today and we were kind of going over what we were going to talk about, I was telling you about how sometimes the result of being angry is our words with others.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm getting into this prematurely or not, but sometimes, things are said in that, like, they're you kind of lash out in emotions and stuff, and you almost have more damage at the end of it than what you had with dealing with the previous issue.
That's good. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the way it was with your golf shot there.
Yeah. Oh,
the shot was bad, but
it just got worse.
Yeah, you don't have club. But
man, that's good. Especially, we always kind of take it back to relationships, but that's how it is. Sometimes what happens in your words during the fight has more damage to that other person than why you were mad in the first place, why you were mad at them or why they were mad at you. You say something in anger and it hurts worse. It cuts deeper than anything that you were even mad about. You're like, now the fight is worse than what I was mad about. Now I'm more upset than I was to start. And it's like, what are we doing? Like I can only imagine the enemy just like, man, that was easy.
Yeah. That's all right.
It's like, I didn't even have to do anything. Oh, it's so, and man, and every single one of us struggle with that. If you say you don't struggle with that, then I'd say you have to check yourself. Cause I think many of us, we get upset about the smallest, dumbest things and we let it control our whole day, our whole week. How many of us have walked outside and had a flat tire and it just messed up your whole week?
Yeah.
It's just like, you're so angry and you're so mad. Why does it have to happen? It's like, even if, many times we've had that problem, but we've had the money to be able to fix it, or we've been blessed enough to be able to have it taken care of. And it's like, God, thank you. Thank you for being able to allow me to be able to get this fixed, or to be able to go and get a new tire or whatever.
Right.
What was it? I think it was Richard that was telling me, something happened with their car. I think it was a blowout or something, a complete blowout of their tire. But I guess it happened at night, like overnight. So they went out and it was all tore up. And he was like, man, but that could have happened on my way home from work. It's like he and it taught me something in that, him looking at the bright side of it and saying, well, I could have had a wreck on the way home. It's like, yeah, this sucks. Like, we got to pay, however much for a new tire, but I'm fine. It could have been so much worse. I'm just like, oh man, that's such a good way to look at it. And I want to work on myself, better to be able to react like that to things. Right. Say, man, let me look at the brighter side of it. Let me look at the blessing in it. And we don't, man. We want to look at, oh, this sucks. Oh man, what am I going to do? But, yeah,
we got some questions over there.
Yes, we do. We have some questions for all of y'all, man. This has been going really good. Us putting the questions on Facebook and y'all commenting and keep that up. We're going to try to do that with every episode. That way we can kind of get some engagement in. And eventually what we'd like to do is start doing just live calls, just on the fly, just start calling people and seeing who picks up and just having a little conversations. I think that'd be a cool, just all call episode. That's what we'll call it, all call. But our first question comes in from Missy Dell. Do you know who that is?
I've heard the name.
Sounds familiar.
She sounds hot.
Oh, snap. Hey, Missy Dell, holler at Jeremiah. Her question is, how do you, in your anger, not sin?
This is a question for me.
For all of us, I think. Man, for me, that's one that I fell at a lot. Because I let my anger push me over that edge to where I don't stop and say, how should I go about this? How should I comment to this? I've got a big mouth, man.
Me too.
It's hard for me to keep quiet when someone's bad mouthing me or bad mouthing somebody I love. It's hard for me to see comments on Facebook and not, I can't tell you how many times I had something typed out and I just had erase it, stop letting it get to you. People are going to have their opinions, but I know for me, that's one thing I've still got to work on.
I'm definitely a work in progress on all this, but I know there is such a thing as righteous anger. And Jesus himself was even angry, and with the money changers in the temple, and he even it wasn't just a spontaneous walk in, see what's going on, start flipping tables. I mean, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he like went out and fashioned a whip. So, so it took a few hours.
Exactly.
It wasn't like he just went and bought a whip. He had to go out and sit down and make one. But so it was premeditated. You know, it wasn't like he just lost his cool. He went out there and he knew what he was doing. So, but in that, you know, he didn't hurt anyone. You know, he wasn't there, you know, smacking people upside the head. But he didn't sin, because we know Jesus never sinned. But he did display a great deal of anger. Yeah. And so I think that is difficult for us, knowing what is acceptable anger and what is sin. Yeah. And for me, my personal convictions on this is the words are the big thing. You know, that we've already talked about, the, you know, things that come out of our mouth whenever we're mad. But I just think that anytime we're trying to cut down another person, or because we're hurting or we're angry or whatever, we're trying to tear down someone else, that is automatically a sin. Yeah. And so I think you know, one of the ways that you can be upset and be angry is to definitely just, I guess, you still have to love people. Yeah. You know, you can be mad at somebody that you love, and you just have to you know, anger can motivate you to build someone up or to correct them or to handle the situation. However, it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. You know, anger can push you to do something good out of it. Yeah. But that's just that's just so hard to do. It really is. It really is. I would like somebody to call in and has a better grasp on all this. Maybe we get old Pastor Tim. Maybe he can give us a little better answer on this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I personally asked him a couple of weeks ago, you know, how do you deal with, because I know every pastor has been through it. So I said, Pastor, because I told him, I said, look, I'm gonna pick your brain every chance I can get, because I love having people around me that I could pick their brain on certain things that they can help teach me and help me grow. Yep. So I said, Pastor, how do you personally deal with church hurt, people in the congregation that have maybe hurt you or said bad things or talked about you or left, or, you know, all these different things? And he said, for him, it's to look at that person, first of all, in love, but also look at them like how they feel. Stop worrying about how you feel. You're going to get hurt. It's going to happen. And he's like, he always tries to put himself in their shoes and see, you know, maybe why they acted like that. Not, oh, they did this to me, but man, what could I have done different, or what maybe how they feel about the situation. It's like, man, that's such a good way to do it, because then I think it calms you down to where you don't just go off on somebody, but it also, you understand, you see the world through their eyes, and you could say, oh, I could see why they did it like that. I could see why they're upset, or maybe why they hurt me, because, you know, maybe they didn't know they hurt you. Right. You know, so I was like, man, it's cool to be able to pick his brain and try to catch him in the 5 seconds he's free running from one place to another. But yeah, that was one thing I asked him, because, you know, I know all pastors deal with it, and I know I've dealt with it, and I know I will deal with it, and we all deal with it, and, you know, in ministry and just in life in general. So I think that's great advice, is to stop looking at it like, oh, poor, pitiful me, and look at it through the lens of that other person.
Right. Yeah, I think that's key. It's taking things from their perspective, you know, and I think that's important, because something we don't want to do. Yeah. We just want to look at our side of it. Yeah.
And the next question from Bishop Richard Randall. No E.
No E.
No E.
Hold E.
Don't put that on there.
E less.
It's E less. I like that. That's what I'm going to start. He said, do you find it easier to apologize for your anger, or just let it go and forget about it? Lord Jesus.
Man, I will go ahead and answer that one, because if I don't, my wife will come over here and smack me. I am a sweep it under the rug kind of guy, for the most part. I don't know, man. I don't like to talk about things, especially when I know I've made an idiot out of myself for being mad about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I have a hard time saying I'm sorry, you know, but man, it's hard to talk about things, especially when you've like lost your cool. Yeah. And you know, it's like, you know what you were marching around here like you had a bee in your bonnet, you know what I mean? Or whatever the thing. That's probably an old time saying, but
oh my gosh, what was it?
I know. Am I 60 years old now? A bee in your bonnet? I think I heard my grandma say that, or something.
A bee in your bonnet? What?
So anyhow, it's just like, can you believe the way you were acting is just insane, you know? And so I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. You know, I'm not talking about this.
Yeah.
So you're still hung up on the bean.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Please, somebody get on the Almost Brothers page on Facebook. Let me know if you've ever heard a bee in your bonnet. Was that?
Yes, yeah.
What's a bonnet?
I don't know.
Is that like? Wait, is
Man,
I'm so okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Grandma.
Right, sorry, we're going off. We're going off. A bee in your bonnet. I swear I want it. That sounds like a band.
Just Google it, man.
Oh, that's good stuff. Also, I also want to give a shout out to Justin Fowler. Man, he's been one of our biggest supporters from day one. I just want to say I love you, bro, and I appreciate all the posts. He makes posts about us all the time, and
cool,
and tries to help us get the word out and get people on. So Justin, man, I appreciate it, and
thank you, man.
Get back on them weights. You're looking a little small right now.
Oh,
he's gonna kill me for it. He asked, do we sometimes use the verse "Be angry and not sin" as a crutch to never overcome or deal with our anger issues? Cool. That is a heck of a question. I think absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because that to me is just basically he's saying using it as a crutch for avoidance. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just not going to deal with this because I'm not going to sin in this, so I'm just not going to be angry. I'm just going to shut off in this situation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really good.
I think that's one that I deal with that's really, really prevalent is I'll kind of like you said, we just kind of bury it. Mm-hmm. So I'll do that. And then I think it's over, but it always eats at you. Mm-hmm. And whether you want to admit it or not, that anger that instead of talking about it or praying about it, you let it build up and build up and build up. And then you may not get mad at that same person about that same issue that you were angry about, but it'll build up and it'll frustrate you. And then something else will set you off.
Right.
So I think that we've got to, one is pray, stop, breathe, pray. I can imagine that Jesus, as he was fashioning that whip, did a lot of praying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did a lot of breathing and a lot of love through that, saying, they're doing wrong. I'm going to go and I'm going to tell them, what I'm going to tell them, but also I'm going to do it, but I still love them. I still need to approach it a certain way. And I think that we need to do that. Stop, take a second. It's okay. Breathe and pray, man. That is one thing that when I'm mad, I want to tell that person right now, I'm going to tell you, you made me mad. This is what you did wrong. This. Right. Or I just completely, if me and Jamie are getting into it most of the time, all right, babe, you know what? You're right. And I just bottle it up. And then one of the kids 65 days later are getting on my nerves. And then all of a sudden I just blow up because all this frustration has been building. And I think that's a very, very good question is we use that as a crutch and as it's okay. I'm going to be angry, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let it bottle up. And then you have those people that go nuts for like the most random reason. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it.
Well, I think that would be the second point then, because if, one is to pray about it, two is to deal with it.
Yeah.
Whatever, the Lord tells you need to do, or whatever, you discern in the situation needs to be done to handle it, then it needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Don't just bury that and think, well, whatever, it's gone, because it's not.
Yeah.
So I think you need to address the problem and get some closure in that, whatever that happened, whatever.
Yeah. Especially with this, if it's with somebody,
right?
If it's with an actual person, go to that person, talk to them. Good Lord, have mercy. We're all adults. Like, let's go.
Right. And you got to be. My wife and I were talking about this. Whenever she said that, was talking about when Jesus called the religious back in the religious leaders called them a brood of vipers.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's harsh. That's not really. It's not sin. We know it wasn't sin, but that's really harsh, but they were the religious leaders at the time. So they knew the Pentateuch frontwards and backwards, and they knew better. Yeah. They had no excuse, and they were not just some newly, baby Christian who's just trying to figure things out. And he's there, talking harshly with them. So I think we need to use discernment when we're dealing with people, kind of where they're at in their walk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
so,
good, yeah.
So you can't just go to somebody with this really harsh truth and trying to set them straight and trying to get all up in their face whenever they're not there yet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And so I think that in dealing with people, we just have to see where they're at.
That's good. Man, that's real good. Me and I'm not gonna say what it was, but we had to talk about it. Is he's really, really bad at choosing his words and how he says them to who he says it. You have to change it. You know, if you're talking to a kid, if you're talking to a teenager, if you're talking to a old person, or if you're talking to someone in leadership over you, you can say the same thing, but you have to deliver it in a certain way. And he is horrible at it. Like he just says whatever he thinks, he says it. And it comes off very, very harsh. You know, if he says it to me, that's one thing. I can, oh, okay. Or like I'll joke with him about like, good look, calm down, bud. But some people take it very, very, very harshly. And that's a great point, is you have to know how am I going to say these words in a way that it's going to be received, and not make somebody else mad, you know, but, and not only were they the religious crowd, going back to the story with Jesus, but they were also pointing fingers and trying to tell everybody else, this is what you need to do. It's like, I can only imagine the anger just built up. Yeah. And like, oh, I'm gonna be kidding me.
I'm going to set them straight.
I'm going to go make this whip. I'll be back. Arnold style. I'll be back. But man, it's so crazy that we let it bottle us up, or we don't package those words in a correct way to be received the right way. You know, we get angry at usually the people that are closest to us, our wives, our kids, and we get so mad and it just blurts out, and we get, there's so many times, oh my goodness, especially with Lee, because, you know, sometimes she gets like a joke around attitude, and I just unleash on her. And then like, as I'm saying, as the words are coming out, I'm just like, no, like it just comes out really harsh. And it's like, I know she was just joking, you know, but it needs to be said, but I could say it I just got to calm down, and it's hard, man.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's so hard to do, but it's something that we've all got to work on. We got to stop letting this kill us.
Where'd you find that? Were you in that red cart behind me?
Yeah. Surprise. I was
there. I sounded a little bit like that.
Just like that. Just out by yourself.
Oh, yeah. I think I chipped a tooth. I was gritting my teeth so hard.
biting pieces of your tongue off. You like ball your fists out like a kid.
Oh, yeah. Like a kid.
Stupid. Okay, so tell everybody about the story when you were helping Esther.
Oh, man.
put up stuff, and you smoked yourself.
Okay, so we were putting up masks and gowns for the dentist office here we have at the Lighthouse at Smiles for Hope.
Oh, and a plug.
Yeah, there you go. And so as we're walking through there's this little hallway, and there's all these little shelvings and stuff, and there's these massive support steel beams that, you know, that the roof is attached to and stuff. You know, I mean, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And some of them have nice little like padding on the edges of them, because I think they've probably knocked a few people out through the years. But I was new; I've never been up there, so I'm trucking through there, and you know, when I do things, I try to get it done, you know, 900 miles an hour. It's just kind of how I'm built. Yeah. And so anyway, I'm full head of steam rolling through there, and hit one of them beams, and I hear my teeth chatter and my neck pops, and it's like I felt like I'm going to be shorter from this, because I just drove my head down into my shoulder blades. But anyway, I was just so angry, and sweet Esther come walking through there after the fact and said, "Watch your head," and I'm like, oh yeah. I just said too late. And anyhow, yeah.
And that makes it worse.
It was just, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Oh, you're a joke maker.
I was just sweating, and it was not.
Face getting red.
Yeah, it was not good.
Oh man, and it's times like that are the worst, because you got nobody else to blame.
Oh yeah,
it's like, I am an idiot.
Right.
It sucks.
Who built this church?
yeah. Who put these here 50 years ago? And it's like, and it's always. Like, it's always after you see it, you're like, don't hit yourself on that. And then you hit yourself on that. Right. It's like, oh, it makes me so mad.
Right.
Like with me, it's the hutch. Is it a hutch like above the stove? I think it's a hutch.
It can be a hutch.
I don't know. We're going to call it a hutch. It's definitely not a bonnet. Every day I'm like, look, Michael, you're gonna be cooking. Don't hit your head on it. And I've tried to rip it out of the thing, just like you see me in there, like Hulk Hogan, just because apparently they made the house for 5'5" people. No offense to anybody who's 5'5", but I am not. I'm 6'1.5", and it just everything in there short. The shower heads are short, and
right.
Everything is short in there. So every time I cook, I smoke my head on it. And I've got nobody to blame but myself.
Right.
Like, you stupid. It's right there. Stop hitting it with your head. But what can you do? I'm going to have to sit back, pray about it.
Deal with it.
Not rip it out of the... I swear I've tried. And I look more stupid.
Because you can't get it out of the
Yes, and I hurt myself more. I'm like, now my fingers hurt. Oh, it's just horrible. Lord have mercy. But if anybody out there, hopefully you got something out of this, because I know we all struggle with it.
I don't know if we answered any questions really.
I think we did.
But I think we figured out that we have anger issues, though.
Well, first step is admitting it, right?
Right.
Oh, that's so funny. We need to get our wives on here for the little anger one.
They could probably talk a little bit more about
Jamie's
that.
is I know to shut up when she says whatever. She says whatever in the middle of a talk, a discussion. Michael, you're in dangerous territory. Right. Seen that meme of like the dude off The Simpsons where he's like, "I'm in danger." Like that's what it's like. It's like, Michael, you better.
You know that that button better not be pushed again. Huh?
Yep. Like, all right, well.
Whatever.
Back to literally anything else.
Right.
Look around like, hey, somebody help me. But
hey, we actually, I think we started talking about this a little over a week ago, or no, it was longer than that. But anyway, I came over that day. We were sitting on the couch, kind of going over some topics for the future.
Yeah.
And I said there was that being caught off guard.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes along with that. It's like when you get in your, you swing through McDonald's and you grab your coffee and you dump it in your lap, and it's just like, wow, whatever. Those are the things that really kind of show us where we're at. It's faith tested is what it is. You know what I mean? Because you don't really know where you're at until something tests you.
Yeah.
You're running along smooth and you're not really sure where you stand. But then with something like that, coffee in the lap, hammer in the nail, hammer in the thumb or whatever, just pick something.
I don't know anything about that.
I know you don't. You could use your bare hands to try to rip things out of the wall. But you hurt yourself something, and so then when that happens, you have to, just assess, where am I at really?
Yeah.
If all it takes is a cup of coffee in my lap for me to absolutely just lose my religion,
right?
Where am I really at?
Right.
And I think, it's one of them deals where, it's okay to get angry, but it's one of them, it's different to stay angry.
Right.
It's kind of like our thoughts, it's okay for crazy thoughts to enter your mind, but it can't stay there. Where he says, take every thought captive.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing with our anger. Whenever something comes up and it catches off guard and it's an issue, a big one, and it seems like a huge one, and right then and there, just, you got to take control of it, and it's being in control of your emotions, being in control of your words, and being in control of your actions, and being in control of that anger and not letting that anger control you.
That's good. You know what mine is?
Your what?
My big one that really gets me going. It's not
the hutch,
not a hammer and a thumb, not a thumb hammer. What a hammer is a thing that you hit stuff with, right?
Yeah, your thumb.
Yeah, just not your thumb. Bosses on video games.
Really? That's ones that you just cannot get past.
Like it used to get to the point to where I would break controllers.
Is that like Bowser, like that has
yes.
the princess or whatever?
Yes. So mad.
You broke controllers?
Oh, yes. Many control, like especially growing up, I don't think I ever grew up, but growing up, many times, and it got to where my parents like, look, you're just out of luck. You're not getting any more. But it's something so stupid. Like you look back on it and you're like, what a moron. But it would get me so mad. Like I would cry in anger.
Mm-hmm. I know, I think that would have been another question or a thing on here is people that are extremely competitive, I think really struggle with this too, cause you want to win, you want to be good. You want to be successful. You got that drive in you that's competitive. So you can be playing spoons or whatever, spade. You can be playing a board game, Monopoly, and you just want to be ripping the board in half, you know?
Oh yeah.
And so I think the competitiveness in people, not everybody's competitive.
Yeah.
You know, because nowadays everybody gets a trophy, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
So if you're competitive and you want to win, like legitimately win and really have the first place trophy, then
the real one.
Then I think sometimes after the games you want to throw baseball bats and, you know, whatever. And because you want that so badly.
Yeah.
And anyway, I don't really know if it's being a brat. Maybe breaking your controller is a little bit being a brat.
Oh, it's definitely 100%.
But it all goes back to that drive to want to win and want to do something.
Yeah.
You know?
But I like how you put it, you know, where's your heart at?
Right.
The Bible says out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. Mm-hmm. So it's like, man, where'd that come from?
Right. Why is that still in there?
Yeah. Like,
you know, if I'm planting good seed and I'm putting good things in, I'm listening to good music. I'm reading the word. I'm putting the good seed in the soil.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? You know, why is that still in there?
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're supposed to be a living sacrifice.
Yeah.
And we die to that flesh daily because our flesh will never receive salvation.
That's good. Yeah.
Our spirit's saved. Spirit man is alive and doing well. You know, when we feed it, it's thriving.
Yeah.
But our flesh is never dead.
Yeah.
But it's never going to be saved.
That's good. Yeah.
So we're going to live with the flesh, man. We're going to live with those fleshly desires. We're going to live with that until we die.
Yep.
Just got to keep it in check.
That's exactly right. That's what I was going to say, is that it's that flesh rising up, and it's just that moment where you're like, oh, all right, I got to work on that. Like, gotta, you know, deal with that flesh. That's exactly right. That's good, man. And we all, guess what? We've all got to deal with it. Till we meet Jesus, we've all got to deal with it. So,
hats off to you that can deal with it, though.
Oh,
the ones that just are real chill and, you know, like,
see, and
be in the middle of a storm, you know, and they're just calm.
That makes me angry.
And I'm like, I'm mad that you're so cool.
Yes, like, how are you just staying so calm in all this, man? Just Mr. Cool.
That's awesome. You know, I think people in our shoes really admire that.
Just like Matthew McConaughey, calm down over here. Just like super cool, man. It's all good.
Watch the leather, man.
Man, it's cool, man. Like, why aren't you angry with me? Be angry with me. You're making me mad that you're not mad. But if you struggle with it, man, comment on our Facebook page, and you know, we're all in this together. And just what is the best thing that you've found to be able to help with that? I know prayer is a big one. I know reading God's word is a big one. But is there anything outside of that maybe you do to, you know, I know some people do, you know, yoga or somebody. For me, a big one was to go play ball. Mm-hmm. I play better when I'm angry. So I'd go play ball. I'd go out in the backyard and take it out on that, or I had a punching bag and I'd take it out on the punching bag. But
physical release.
Yes, very.
Some people do breathing exercises.
Right.
You know, sit down.
Oh yeah. Or music. I know a lot of people do music, or you know, some people do diaries. You know, stuff like that. But
got to have a release somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This has been Almost Brothers with Jeremiah and Michael. Remember that if you don't have a home church, come check us out down here at the Lighthouse in Dexter, 8:30 in the parking lot outside church, 10 o'clock inside. We're like family around here. We love y'all.